Do, 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 do. Here we are, we're live. Look at that, Ed Dale is live. I need to stop this though. Do, do, do. Hey fam. That's what all the cool kids say. Now, let's just double check to see. Hello, Adam. Let's. Can you hear me? Can you see? Hi, Sirius. Can I, Sirius? Can I Can you please let me know if you can see me, hear me, and hopefully see my, because I've got a cool setup today because we're going to be copywriting. And so, yeah, it's going to be a bit different. Excellent. Very good. Very good. And this is as good a chance as any to remind you that if you're just arriving, please subscribe, bang the bell, and like the video. That would be awesome. Even though, look, just like it in advance because you know this is going to be good. You're right. You know this is going to be good. You don't have to do that until I've done that for sure. But actually, I'm interested to know, for those of you who have banged the bell like bro, did you get a little notification from YouTube saying that I was live? I know I got one just here, just popped up literally right now. So I got one. So that was good. That is nice. So, you did. Excellent. Very good. See, it works, right? And it lets you know when I am live. Look at all. That's great. And the other great thing about it is it takes you exactly to where I am live, so you don't have to refresh and all of those thingamajiggies and thingamabobs. All right. Very good. Okay. Let's sort of orientate you in yesterday's session. Well, the whole purpose of this week is that I am implementing the whole ask protocol. And when I say the whole ask protocol, I'm doing it like I'm trying to show you the difference between the way an amateur would do a course and look at a blueprint and the way a professional would look at a course and a blueprint, in the hopes that for some of you who are at the point where you've got a list and you've got a Facebook group and stuff, you could directly apply what we're doing. And indeed, the stuff that we're doing today, any single one of you could apply this. And in fact, as I go, my aim is to involve you today. So if you've got some pen and paper handy, that would be really useful for today's lesson as well. But the idea is to show you, and I got a question in the Facebook group. And by the way, if you aren't in the New Challenge Facebook group, it's a good thing to be a part of, because I'm often doing insights and the contributions are really, really cool. But what I'm doing here is I'm, again, trying to show you how I've got this huge blueprint, right, from Ryan, this massive 15-page blueprint. And so what I had to do was analyze it and say, how is the fastest possible way for me to test and implement this? And so we spent our planning session on Sunday evening doing exactly that. We came up with these CFTs, which stand for critical focus time. Each one of these Post-it notes potentially is an estimation of what would take about 50 minutes of time. It's an estimation, and human beings, including me, suck at estimation. So it's a guideline, right, for what we're doing. And as the week goes on, I can then have a look at adjusting, making changes if I need to, all those sorts of things. Then yesterday, what we did was we went and used ManyChat to create a test. So we literally, in one 50-minute session, created a test. And I can let you know, just off the let me just click here and go to here and go to audience. You can't see this. This is not on the screen. But already I've had 98 people click no market. I've had 73 people click no money. Well, the question of, what's your biggest challenge? Now, these are my tags, right? I've had 49 people pick no time. And the one that has completely surprised me, because I genuinely thought it would be a lot less, comes in at second place, is tech challenges, right? And that is a complete and utter surprise to me, right? So wow, I've learned, and that will actually impact what I'm doing today and what I'll be working on today, because that is actually even bigger by a important enough margin for this campaign, which is extraordinary. The other thing I want to point out too is the number of responses I've received, right? This is crazy. Now, the stats won't be, see, the stats, one of the things with ManyChats is the stats are well behind, right? So it means that, I don't have that. So, but if we look at here, and there's still 2 hours to go in the sending, because remember, I did it as the time zones would go past. So, New Zealanders and stuff are still to get it. But I got so far, a 43% response rate. 43%. That's insane. That is outstanding for a survey. And that's a meaningful number of people, right? That is a meaningful number of people that I can get those. So from 554 people, because remember, I only did a segment of the list as well. So 554 people that have seen it so far, 210 have responded. Unheard of, right? Uncanny. So that is exciting to me, right? That is just really extraordinary. So this is great. But boy, talk about course correction, talk about learning something. No tech is it's the second issue. I guessed that market would be the first one, right? Because, I've learned something over running the challenge for the last 13 years. But the fact that tech fear has come in at a resounding just behind number 2 is something that I wouldn't have guessed. And that is great, because guess what? That's something that learns and impacts what we're going to do today. So let me describe what we're going to do today, right? I've got here my ticket. When I was planning this on Sunday, my ticket was I was going to do a free write on all the different categories that I've picked. No budget, no market, tech fear, and no time, right? And initially I thought it was going to be a 10-minute free write. But I'm looking at it now, and I'm pretty sure, based on responses that I've got already, that I could probably do a 5-minute free write and be able to vomit out everything I need to do. Now, this is going to be pretty unique, because for those of you who've been following along with the challenge drill this week, right, it's all one of the core laws of free writing is you can't show anybody your free writing, because or put it anywhere permanent, anywhere that is that can be discovered or seen, because there'll be a part of your brain that will hold back if it thinks that this writing can be seen by somebody else. So my advice is actually to do it on pen and paper. Here's my pad here, right? Do it on pen and paper. Do it on pen and paper, and then tear it up and destroy it after you've taken any notes. Now, and the final part was suggesting handwriting it. So I'm going to give you, rather than just watching me free write, I'm actually going to give you little challenges. And I would like to think that as you're watching today, you and I can do some free writing together. Now, because I'm going to be doing this in front of you live, my handwriting. Now, I know a lot of you are really put off by the staggering level of genius that I show in terms of my artwork and my penmanship and all that sort of thing. It's truly, truly intimidating, right? And it was something that, I get and I understand, right? But you can't all be as gifted as I am when it comes to this stuff, right? You can't all. So just please don't even try. There's some things that, you can possibly train for, but to get to my level of artistry when it comes to drawing and writing, it's inborn, right? It's just a skill I've had since primary school. Please tell me you're picking up the sarcasm. So what am I going to do? I am going to type. Okay. And two reasons to show you this. One is you'll see how slow a typist I am. I hope it will give you great hope. I never learned to touch type, which is something that I deeply, deeply regret. It's also something that, people don't realize, particularly when people were blogging a lot, that every pro blogger I know can type at least touch type 60 words per minute, right? You have to be a good typist to do it. So it's that is so right. You'll never be at my level of art. That is true. That's pretty much a given, that none of you will ever be at my level of artistic endeavor. That's true. But I want to give you hope to realize that, okay, so Ed's no magic typist or anything like that and can vomit out thousands of words. Typically, I would actually dictate, but dictating for free writing is a complete and utter no-no. It doesn't work at all. All right. It's great for when you're writing and great for when you're doing things, but dictating is no good, no bueno when it comes to doing these sorts of tasks and activities. And ideally, as a general rule, I would handwrite. All right. I would handwrite. But because I'm broadcasting this, I'm going to be typing. So you can at least read what I've said. And hopefully, though, you'll also see a number of things. You won't see me going back and correcting poor typing, which will be extensive. You won't see me correcting grammar. You won't be seeing any of those things because you shouldn't be doing any of those things when you are doing a free writing session. The other concession that I am giving myself because of that is I'm pulling out the big guns, right? Normally I have a keyboard which connects to all of my devices here. So they've got, it's three different, it's sort of switches between all the different computers. But when I have to type, I have to pull out the big gun, which is my beautiful Matthias keyboard with the specific cherry switches that I use, right? So I use because you've got to have a bit of fun. And indeed, when I'm free write, just hold on a sec. I free write every day and I do type. And when I do that, I do it in this. It's literally called the free write, right? And you can't edit. It doesn't allow, and I've got to plug this into the charger, right? It doesn't allow you to, but it's a beautiful, beautiful typing experience keyboard. So anyway, because I'm trying to make writing for me is hard. It's not, being a high quick start, low follow through, and more importantly, relatively low fact finder, only a 4 in fact finder means video. What I'm doing now with you guys is far more my box and dice, right? This is far more comfortable for me to do. And knowing what environment you are comfortable in is a really important part of building your business as well. Okay, so that's it. So I've got my iPad here, right, and I've got it on the stand in front of me. So I've got good posture at least, although you'll see me looking literally because I literally cannot touch type. And we will be doing that. So what I'm going to be doing, let's bring this. 63 words per minute just off the cuff. With some practice, I could get to 80. See, and that's fine because if you can type as fast as you can think, it's such a gift, such a skill, as I've been trying to explain to my daughters. So, like I said to you yesterday, and with every session, it's vital that we know what does done look like. So at the very least, I want to do free writes in each of these areas. Somebody pointed out, who was it? Which was a great Rich. 2 points for Gryffindor for you, Rich. Tech Challenges was actually under the something else button, which anybody who knows surveys knows that typically you would find a drop off if you have to go and flick through. If there were 4 survey questions, by the way, I've also discovered, thanks, Adam, a way of redoing that survey so all of the tags could be on the one thing. ManyChat can actually do many more than that, but you have to use a different type of button, turns out. But again, did I let that stop me? Did I learn everything? I know very little of how to use ManyChat. In fact, this is a great little mini lesson right here. I barely scratched the surface of what's available for ManyChat. I didn't go through the entire ManyChat course to figure out how to use ManyChat. I learned the bare minimum for me able to get into the marketplace and do a test, right? A lot of people are going, oh, well, I have to know everything there is to know about ManyChat, or I have to know everything there is to know about Ask before I can even do one thing in my market. Not true. Not true at all. Okay. And that's, again, the way we can be productive. So if we have a look here, I'm going to probably, let's have a look. Let's do an experiment, a couple of experiments. I'm going to do 5 minutes free write on tech fears because that was such a surprise. No market, which was the biggest, but just barely. And when you particularly consider when that was second, I'm going to do that as my second 5 minutes. Then I'm going to go and do 2 minutes on budget and 2 minutes on no time. Okay, so that should be relatively quick. Yeah, there's an excellent ManyChat course that's completely freely available. I haven't done it, and I wouldn't do it. I learned just enough to execute what I need to execute today, right? And that is, most people, when they do, this is a huge thing that I'm on about in the challenge. Most people, when they do their work, they are spending all their time studying, because that's how we learn to do it at school. You study the whole thing and then you do the exam, right? There's no exams here. You know, the only exam is there more money in your bank account this month than there was last month, right? That's the ultimate exam. And you can't just do, you don't study the entire course and then find, because here's the thing, you get so overwhelmed because there's so much information, you never execute anything. So you notice every week, every session, I've been executing, right? There's been a tangible product. So our tangible product will be 4 free write sessions, and of which I'll see what gems I come up with, and I'll be taking note of that. And if I have the time, I might have a look at my market nomination strategy, which is actually what we're going to be doing in the challenge next week. So I'm probably going to, if we've got time, we'll do a mind map. But here's the thing. My expectation is 1 Post-it note per session. So if I can do this Post-it note, all's good. All right, enough talking. Time to hit the 50. Let's do this thing. All right, timer is on. Let's go. Can you use YouTube or Google just to find answers for what you need? Yes, absolutely. And typically I'm going to YouTube first these days, which is actually a really interesting lesson in and of itself. Okay, let's get crazy. So as a warm up, I'm going to start with no time, then I'm going to do no budget, then I'm going to do no market, and then I'm going to do tech fear. Okay, because again, my thinking is the 2 most important ones are the no market and tech fear, according to my initial ManyChat survey. So I want to be mentally warmed up for that. So I'll do the other 2 first, and I'll just do 2 minutes for those to see how I go. What I would love you to do is to do this along with me, because I'll be setting a timer. So why don't you do this with me and do it in, if you've got a market, do it for think about the issues in your market, or indeed write about what you think the problems would be. In fact, no, let's do this because I want to prove something to you. I want to do a magic trick right now. I want you to do exactly the same free write I'm doing. Yeah, this is a much better idea. I want you to do exactly the same free write I'm doing. Pen and paper, 2 minutes. And you're going to be thinking, well, hang on, Ed, you're Ed Dale. I know. Gosh, thanks. Yeah, I know. And I'm just a pleb that knows nothing. You're not plebs, right? But here's the thing. I want to do a magic trick. Okay. So I want you to do exactly the same free write that I am. So for the first 2 minutes for no time, I'm literally just going to do a brain dump of what I think. Yes, thanks to May, of course. You know, it's hard. But it is, okay, I'm going to do 2 minutes on no time, right? Not editing myself particularly, and do that. Now, when I do free writes on the computer, I always use an iPad because of lack of distraction. I've turned on, you probably can't see it, but right up in the top corner there is a tiny little moon. That means do not disturb. This is my work iPad. I never let it do dings, bells, or whistles at me. The only time, and this, another lesson, I've got to be careful here because I'll run out of time, is environment, right? When I've got this combination of this keyboard plus this iPad, I know I am creating content. I'm in content mode, right? So this is the tool I'm using. So I've created the environment. And actually, typically, in absolute truth, I would utilize this out there at a standing desk I've got set up in front of my Kanban board, because the environment is important. But of course, today we're doing this with you. All right, here we go. Now, I'm probably going to go relatively quiet, but what I want to do, the moon is right in the top right-hand corner. You'll barely see it. It just means it's an indicator that there's do not disturb on my iPad. That's all. No big deal. All right, so we're going to do 2 minutes on no time. And I'm going to start now. And I really hope you are doing this along with me. You've got your pen and paper, and you're going to talk about what do you know about people who have no time? What exactly do we have to write? I don't care. I just want your impressions of why having no time is a problem as an entrepreneur. Okay? That's what you're going to do. That's what I'm going to do. Let's get to it. But there's no marking here. There's no editing. So just do, but we're going to be typing all the time. I'm not going to stop typing, right? Because it's free write. And it's, yeah, let's do it. Set a timer for 2 minutes. All right, we're away. bloody keyboard. Oh, there we go. Stop. Pens down. Pens down. Okay, so now we need to extract the gems. So I'm just going to bring up my notepad here and get a new notepad. And let's have a look here. So environments. And while I'm doing this, I would love to get your impressions of what you wrote in your 2 minutes. And did it surprise you that you had stuff that you knew about on No Time and Entrepreneurs? Put your feedback in the chat or in the comments if you're watching this later, and yeah, let's play along. And I might get some good ideas from you guys. So let's have a look. So definitely environment. That is the key one, because when I'm looking at helping people, I want to help them absolutely the best at the first opportunity. And understanding environment and what that does is such a crucial thing. I also had a keyboard malfunction during my, it started wobbling. So I want to make sure I don't wobble. So there we are. Just have to move my keyboard. So what have we got here? We've got environment is important. Oh, and of course, energy. Environment, energy, and what are we doing? Oh, so focus in session. Not understanding what done looks like. And oh yeah, so tired, that's all part of roadmaps. Yeah, the 3 easy filters. Okay, cool. Let's have a lot. Working at a job, people with full-time job and family. High fact finder, this scares me to death. Yeah, but see what I do, I still get it done. Pick your energy, high time of day, time distortion. Reality is always different. Oh, I like that one, Leslie. Too many things going on. They need to downsize. Yes, simplicity. I'm going to pinch that one. Prioritizing and balance. Wake up 1 hour early. Hope you're all watching this. This is gold. Look at all of this. And how do you know all this? You're all plebs. I'm the expert. Yet look at all the gold that you are putting out here. What's going on? This is not right. This is not how it works. I'm me. You're you. Yet look at all of this cool stuff that you're putting into the chat. And what I'm also very excited about, side note, is do you notice now YouTube with live sessions actually replays the chat along with the video, which is super sweet because it means that people watching the replay, get to see all of your feedback too, and some fantastic gold engaging with time savers. This is just pure gold. I'd try to use a different word other than grooming, Paul, but you're sort of right. Well done. All right, there's some cool ones. I'm going to have to go back over the replay and I wonder if I can get a download of the chat. That would be really great. Got to be careful here because I want to make sure I'm on a timer. Beautiful. Wow, look at this. So good. Look at this. Okay, great. Well done. But hey, we have to move on. We've got work to do. So now what I'm going to do is just drop down a little bit. And our second task was, let's go back here just to remind myself. We just did no time, no budget. Okay, so we're going to do exactly the same exercise. Now, of course, this time, surely you won't come up with the beautiful gold that is coming out of my head, but, give it your best shot. Give it a try. See how you go. All right, so we're going to spend 2 minutes on, and I'm just going to type here so I don't forget. No budget. All right. Very cool. Probably should it's much better. Usually I'm typing when I'm standing up, and it's much better posture. But anyway, all right, you ready? Let's do this. Set a timer for 2 minutes. Okay, pens down, pens down. Whew. Okay, there we go. So let's have a look here. Okay, so now let's do no budget notes. Yes, so how are they going? Could dig deeper. And while I'm doing, by the way, folks, while I'm doing this, I want you to take your insights and pop them in the chat right now while I'm doing my insights as well from the FreeWrite. All right. How are they doing? Could dig deeper with many chat and ask methodology. Recommend community nonprofits. There are so many places to get help, and you know, things I didn't, you know, there's also you know, mental, physical health issues. There's all sorts of reasons that the budget, but then, you know, then there could be let's have a look. Food to eat, take advantage of services in the community. If that they're stable, time issues. Time issues. Is that the actual reason? Okay, so we could ask a question about that. Yeah, so we could show them how to make a little bit of time. Oh, and paid to train, and freelancing. Such a cool thing, like getting people to start to make some money to build a kitty for advertising and so on. Start doing some work for other people, you know, do some articles, do some typing, do all of those sorts of things. Yes, past experiences, right, can make people very think. Charging too little for consulting work and negotiating well, how to circumvent the exchange rate, quick wins, make an offer, not proactive financially, living by default. Yeah, that's a good one. Commitments, exchange rate, use of various social. You know what the solution to exchange rate is earn currency in the currency that you want to get, right? So earn US dollars, right? If it's US dollar exchange, which is a killer, then earn US dollars is a trick that you can use. Trade your services for other services, can get lots of free training, such as Ed's Challenge or Get Your First Dollar. I'd argue my training is not free because you have to do a time investment, requires time. And that's another interesting concept with this no budget. That's why I want to get through time as a big deal, because we all have exactly the same amount of time. And typically what happens is a person who's financially challenged spends a whole lot of time trying to save money. Whereas somebody who, and it's the cruelty of life, is somebody who has the resources, they spend money to save time. It's this difference, to me, that's a good, in fact, you know what, to me, I'm going to pinch that. Stop drinking Starbucks, or maybe get a tall instead of a grande. And there's cool things like Acorn, like services like Acorn. Such a cool service. It just takes all of the cents in your purchases and invests them in an investment account. It's such a cool thing to do, because we need to build up a little bit of a nest egg so that we can run tests, so that we can do some paid advertising, so we can, get the tools that we need to do that. And often we can train time for budget and stuff. So that's some budget thinking. And what's going on here? What's going on? How come you guys know all of this? What's going on? I'm the one who's meant to know all of this, but yet look at all of this cool stuff that you guys are putting out there. There's something in that for all of us. Okay, we've got to move on. We're on a schedule. Okay, so our next one is market, no market. Okay, and so this one, I can't give up my beer. Fair enough. Give blood for money. Yeah, donate an organ. Let's get radical with our suggestions here. It's a free ride session. We can say stuff like that. All right, come on, focus. Time is wasting. Well, it's not wasting, but we're on the clock. So let's get into no market. Now, this time we're going to wow, we're going crazy here in the chat in terms of ways to get money. Let's refocus. Okay, this time we're spending 5 minutes on this topic, and I want you to write about this. What are the issues with choosing a market, and suggestions for choosing a market? So you might think about what are the issues and what are the suggestions. Message retracted. All right, let's focus. You ready? Pen and paper. Let's do this. So we're going to, except for me, because I'm typing. Here we go. For 5 minutes. I must say this is cool because it really does force me to work. You know, if you want to live stream your work. All right, I've got to type. Let's go. No market. What are the issues here? I create a Facebook Messenger course to make people choose test 5 days. Let's say 5 days. 5 days. Need to enforce the fact it's not life or death. It's a decision on the scale of choosing a sushi lunch. What else to do? Need to make the section easy to do, no more than 5 minutes, and think about using many chat for interactions without blowing it up, because that would be a problem. We are choosing a market to test, not a market for the rest of our lives. Ask methodology is great at helping break down markets. Maybe I can implement that. What other tests would be cool? Amazon books on the topic. Are there people advertising? Are there people making money? What's the best way to show that? Studies need to check on that. Got an itchy nose. I have an itchy nose. This is the type of gems I come up with when free writing, but I have faith my brain will get back on track. What else about market? Need to look for signs of life. Aha, yes, Facebook groups over, it can't be 5 minutes, 5,000, actually over, pens down, Ed, pens down, just shh. Yes, Facebook groups over 10,000, 6 or more. Okay, stop. Whew, okay. All right, folks, while I'm going through and pulling out my gems, I want you to do the same and pop them in the chat, or if you're watching the replay, put them in the comments below. While I'm pulling out my gems, pop up your gems. And that would be awesome. Two things while I thought of it. One is you'll notice I had a bit of a brain, well, the technical term is brain fart in the middle of that, but I didn't stop typing. I typed that I was having a brain fart because my nose was itchy for some reason during that, right? And sort of threw me off for a second. But the key to free writing is to continue on and just document the fact that you've been thrown off. Yes, turn the volume if it's distracting for you while I'm talking. That's fine, but turn it down. But do that. So that's one thing. The other thing that I do like, although it's not foolproof, is because I'm typing on the iPad, its predictive text is really good. And if you notice, it actually fixes a lot of my spelling mistakes on the fly, which is another nice thing about this, which is interesting. Look at that. You got to straight. So here's a news flash. Turn it down. Actually, I might turn off my microphone in the next one for you. But that's a indication. Interesting. Cool. Okay, so I'm going to have a look at my results here because I didn't distract myself talking. I always talk to myself. I find myself so entertaining. Let's have a look. Market notes. Yeah. Facebook Messenger, which is part of the plan. So I'm going to need to storyboard and mind map. Yes. How do I get across this is not life or death? Emphasize market test. Oh, yes. Put. So I've got a strategy which is in the $1 book, but I've learned new stuff. There are two tests in particular that popped into my head after the brain fart, which was implement the ask bucket test and the Facebook group market test. They are great tests. And how are they making money in the market? You should be able to obviously see that there's a market. Let's have a look here. What did you guys come up with? Market research is a matter of finding products with high demand, also low competition. Not particularly passionate about the topic, so you didn't come up with anything. Get out a fact finder. Suspend disbelief in the idea of what a good market looks like. Think what you're passionate about. Passion may not be in demand. Afraid market will fail after spending the time and money. Yeah, that's huge. That is the core thing. Pick something you love, test, build, and repeat. Don't let a bad market stop you. Move on. Find what is already selling. Markets you can do products. Let me ask you this, guys. What do you think is the best way to test market of how do you find out how people are making money? What do you think some of the best tests for that are? I've just thought of one. Although that is for a certain type of, that's for info products. Amazon, ClickBank, keyword prices, people selling on ClickBank, well done. Already paying for ads, Amazon. See what's selling on Amazon. What Amazon Associates? What's that? I'd like to drill down on that. Amazon Kindle and Kindle Topics. Nice, like that one. Book Topics. That's a beauty. Affiliates, cool. Okay, good. But we've still got one to go. So we've got to move. And this one was the surprise, right? This was the big surprise to me. Tech issues is the number one thing. Okay, so, and again, I'll turn my microphone off this time, as long as I remember to turn it back on. We're going to be writing about tech issues, and I'd love to know what are tech issues that you've had, ways that you've solved your tech issues. They could all be great grist for the mill. Okay, so that would also be a good thing. I usually have you talk about environmental factors. I'm working under such conditions today, just for you. I mean, seriously. Normally, I'd have I have a writing playlist that I'd have going along while I was doing any free writing, just to get me in the zone, in the mood. It's the same writing. I listen to the same songs over and over and over again, so that I'm not looking, because having random songs is super bad. In fact, science has tested the fact that if you listen to music and you're like listening to the radio, it's actually distracting. I wish it wasn't the case, because I got into an argument about this with my dear wife, and she was 100% correct, which killed me. She's always 100% correct in truth. I never win an argument. But it was indeed correct. Like, the science is incontrovertible now that listening to random music is a complete waste of time. Silence is actually the best thing. But if you do have to listen to something that's repetitive and you've heard many, many times before. So and I do that because I'm very much an auditory person, and so I like doing it, and it amps my enjoyment of listening to some cool tracks. Listen to the latest J-pop, because it's in another language, so I can't understand it. So it's really cool. All right, onwards. We must keep working. Work. Okay, here we go. Tech issues, 5 minutes. And remember, I want you to do this too. You'll get a lot of benefit out of this, and hopefully you're seeing that there's a pretty big magic trick occurring as we're speaking, which I will reveal like a good magician after we do this one. Okay, so 5 minutes. Your topic is tech issues. What tech issues have you had? How have you solved tech issues? If you've solved them, what did you do? Any tips or tricks? But I'd love to, that's what I want you to write about in your 5 minutes. Let's do it. Set a timer for 5 minutes. And we are away. Okay. Okay, that's 5 minutes. All those people who complained about me speaking should have done 5 minutes because you didn't have that as an excuse. So I'm expecting some gold nuggets from you lot. I'm just talking about they're not slow people. I just thought of an awesome challenge to get people used to outsourcing. Oh, that's cool. That is so cool. I'm very excited. Okay, so I'm now going to go through my notes here to extract my gems. I was trying to see if anybody had anybody was reading along. So let's have a look. So here we go. So tech issue notes. Yes, send a broadcast to people who responded. You try and identify buckets in tech challenges for business, because I suspect it's not one size fits all. I'm also going to read your comments. Come on, everybody. Surely you haven't dropped off. Come on. Has it been so hard for you that you've had to do a whole 14 minutes of free writing in one session? Oh, my goodness. Oh, it's so hard. Send a broadcast to people. Get suggestions from you lot. Remind myself that it's intimidating. Can't spell that word. Oh, yes. Training. So just enough to implement what they need to do instead of studying the entire course. New challenge drill on outsourcing. I have an awesome idea for that. And best practice. Yeah, one of the biggest things about outsourcing and entrepreneurs in business is that we're just not managers, and it's a really big problem. So let's have a look. Too many tools. Which one should I use? Not sure how the various tools work together. How can I get a good suite? Where to find other training? How to find people to help? Schools offer one-day crash courses to help technically challenged people learn how to do that. Yeah. YouTube. Schools offer one-day crash courses. Yeah. Oh, we got that. YouTube always gives good for how to do something. If it doesn't work, Fiverr, Upwork, forums, relevant Facebook groups. Kidnap people with laptops. Yeah. Surly teenagers that you know can be an awesome use of that. Can you swap skills that you have? Find easy to use tools like drag and drop page builders. Too much choice. Yeah, see, this is the thing. See, I don't think there's too much choice at all, because I'm at the end of the day, I'm after a very specific result, and I just want the quickest thing to do that. So understanding, I suppose, what the quickest thing to do that is really important. Don't know tech really means I don't know how to market. Interesting. Funnels, forms, traffic, advertise on social channel campaigns. Yeah, so actually, I'm going to pinch that one. What's the underlying thing they are trying to do? Need to really elicit that out. That's a good one. The other thing I just popped into my head was what? Oh, it'll come back. It'll come back. There's a lot of resources, tweaking websites, consultant tech forums, search YouTube for tutorials, understanding what works best, learn how to use. Oh, yes. I know what it was. Knowing tech adds zero value to your business. So that is really, really important to understand. That's another big important thing. Okay, how are we doing here? All right. I was hoping to get my mind map, but that's the way the cookie crumbles. We did finish the 50 minutes. So that is good. We got my ticket, which is what I thought. I'd sort of hoped that I might be able to sneak in another one, but we'll have to do the course training, which will be a fun exercise next week because we'll sort of like building a mini product. I'm going to design up a mini product tomorrow. Now, tomorrow's session, when did I schedule tomorrow's session? Let's have a look so I can let you guys know. Wrong keyboard. Too many keyboards. This keyboard. Oh, that's not going to work either. Too many keyboards. Too many keyboards. Spoil the broth. Okay. Oh, cool. Tomorrow's session is at 3:30 p.m. Eastern, which is 5:30 a.m. Australian. But for Europeans, it's going to be a nice early session for you. So it'll be right in prime time for Europeans. So 3:30 p.m. Eastern, that's 5:30 a.m. Australian. And that is, so it's going to be about, I think it's 8:30 p.m. in the UK, 9:30 p.m. in Europe. So there we go. And just if you're counting ahead, then our Friday, well, my Friday, your Thursday night session is going to be at 7:30 p.m. again. So we're going to do that as we rush towards implementing this Ask methodology. So let me just check in. Before you go, I want to ask you something. Did you learn something by doing the free writing? What was your aha moment from today's session? All right, just before you go, what's your aha? And by the way, don't forget to hit the like button, the thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and indeed hit the notification bell so you can know when I'm doing live sessions. Do both of those things. Feel free to use the donate button. If you want to flick me $1 so I can get a sandwich, go for it. Feel free, because then you're my favorites, right? And I totally favor my favorites. And figure out what, so Simmons, I suck at free writing. Why? What is that? Drill into it. Do a free write session on why you suck at free writing. Would be great. Also got some hints on improving the areas we wrote on. Learning from paper instead of what's in my freaking head is so more important. I know a lot more than I think. That was one of the things I was hoping people got out of it. Spend times on the things that make money and outsource the rest. Practice makes perfect. Aha was how to get a bunch of people to do free writes with me for better inputs. Yes. Free writing loosens up the brain and new ideas fall out. Like free writing, no rules. Great to rip up too. Free writing helps the ideas go faster. Very good. Putting things down, let you remember your thoughts. All right, with that, folks, you heard the timer go off. So our CFT is done. We have nailed our second, where are we? Post-it note here. So we've done that one. So I'm going to tick that off. But for those of you following along at home, you know that we have more post-it notes and sessions. So I may have bitten off more than I can chew, but we've done that one. Cool. And so we'll be doing our planning and little sage document for next tomorrow. All right, with that, ciao for now. We'll see you all later as I try to find where I turn this stuff off again.